pillow lava right there.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Whenever I see these pillows, I try to picture myself when millions of years ago when this thing was actually erupting. We're seeing sort of a moment frozen in time here.
Mm-hmm.
As, you know, with all of this lava all solidifying in a really cold water, it's very hot lava that's coming out and then almost instantly solidifying and forming these big bulbous structures.
Yeah, you were diving on the Pisces underneath the island of Hawaii, and it looked like it was sitting on a giant pile of ball bearings. Right? I heard.
Yeah.
There's that smooth rock you were talking about earlier, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what causes that. It's almost like somebody buffed it.
Mm-hmm.
Freshly polished.
Or like dripping wet mud, you know, from a height. It creates that strange appearance. Oh, what's that formation down there, right on the lower middle section?
Oh yeah.
That
Someone dropped their pasta.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that all dead sponge? That seems to be
Yeah, it's all
everywhere.
dead.
That's all dead
So
sponge.
cool.
Yeah.
That's so wild. It's like a maze.
There's another
Sponge
big
labyrinth.
You want to move it?
Yeah, I think we can keep going ahead, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
I don't see anything particular here.
You okay with the dead south?
Sure. Dead south.
Dead south. Bridge now. 20, bearing 180.
It's really useful having this aerial view from Argus to look down on Herc to see what's up ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at those very clear pillow formations right here. You can just imagine the lava oozing out over previous flows. Right? They're just like toothpaste coming out.
Yeah.
Is that what you do with your toothpaste? Just ooze it out, then ooze out more on top of it?
Yeah, exactly. When it goes into the sink, you can kind of just build it up that way. And then you don't have to get the tube out after a while. You just scoop it out.
Dip your toothbrush into the...
That's kind of disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah. To each his own.
Right. Oh, another one of these big Brazilian sea stars.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah. Beautiful animals.
And to how sticky or does need to be to grab floating material out of the water column. They must react pretty fast to be able to do that, I would think.
I don't know if it's so much the reaction, it may be just the stickiness on the tube feet. That whatever touches it, it's stuck.
Yeah.
And then it can transport it down the axis of the arm, down to its mouth. And the mouth is still on the underside.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's rather a unique kind of feeding strategy.
That is incredible.
Chris, we have a question from the audience.
Sure.
Is it normal to see so many dead sponge colonies in this location?
That's a very good question. Yeah, it's not abnormal to see them because these colonies died quite a long time ago, and you can tell by the fact that they have a little bit of manganese precipitate. They've given them that dark color on them. And, you know, it's possible that some of these sponges died even thousands of years ago, and you can see one died here, you know, 1,000 years ago, another one died at 800 years ago, one died at 300 years ago. So they start to build up, and they just don't decompose very quickly. And so they sit there for a very long period of time, and as the community slowly dies and you get new ones, it starts to build up some of these dead ones. It's not, oh wow, look at
those.
that.
I love those.
Actinoscyphia, and it's an anemone
Anemone.
that's specialized in actually colonizing stalks and things that stick up. These are beautiful anemones.
The color is very similar to our first anemone that we collected today.
Can you zoom in on
Is
it,
it-
please?
Yeah, the color is, a lot of anemones have this sort of orangey color for whatever reason. I don't know. But you
Probably the
see, this one is
chemicals.
not attached to a rock. It's on a stalk. It doesn't have sort of a
Yes.
pedestal under it. It kind of just, the base of it kind of curls around and grabs onto this old, maybe coral stalk or a sponge stalk.
Yeah, it looks like a flower.
It looks like a Venus flytrap to me.
It is.
Yeah.
Some people call them that.
Yeah.
Flytrap anemone, yeah.
Actinoscyphia, one of my favorite anemones.
Um,
Yeah,
There's-
that's beautiful.
there's another question here.
Sure.
Do these seamounts show any signs of impact from human-induced climate change?
Another good question. They're pretty deep, so I don't think they're seeing any impacts yet.
Comes and goes.
This kind of sort of sparse community down here, from what we know, is fairly
let me have a quick
common
look.
for this depth. And then we're hoping to get up into a depth where we see more denser and denser animals. But no, I don't see
Yeah.
anything that could be climate
other way.
induced right now on here. The temperature is so constant at these depths, around 1 to 2 degrees centigrade. And so a lot of things that are going on the surface would definitely take a while to sort of have an impact at, so far down.
Yeah, sure.
Bridge nav.
And again, all of these rocks look dark because
Another 20 meter step 180.
these are seamounts that were formed from volcanic activity, right?
Right, but then a lot of this dark color is because it's got this, we call a manganese crust coating them, which is typically sort of a gray-black surface. And what we mean by that is that over millions of years, various types of metals and materials precipitate out of seawater and start coating the rocks. And it almost always produces sort
What's
of
that
this
on the right?
black surface.
On the right, the dark thing.
Yeah.
Let's check that
And
out.
it's also calcium animals, diatoms, things like that at the surface that have died and fallen down as marine snow, or like this coating that we see, this dusting you see on a lot of the
Zoom in there,
rocks
please.
from.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
beautiful.
nice.
It's
Oh,
a sea
look at
cucumber,
that.
hollow.
Yeah, we have a sea cucumber, and these don't look like your shallow water cucumber. This guy's gonna swim.
These are beautiful.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's
Oh, wow.
So this guy is
10.
this guy is called a Nypniastes, believe it or not. Yeah, say that.
You just
3
made
times.
that up.
Have a couple beers and try to say that name.
Oh, beautiful.
These are gorgeous, gorgeous, delicate, beautiful creatures.
And you can see how they're semi-translucent. You can see the digestive tract inside when the light hits it just right.
Can you say the name of it again, please, Chris?
Nypniastes. And I'll see if I can get a picture up real quick, because I'm not sure I even spelled it right in my
Oh,
notes
it's
here.
gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Oh, I love it when they swim. That's just real.
That's definitely going on our collection of
That's a big rock.
cool things to show our students.
Yeah,
For sure.
let's see here. Where are my Nypniastes in this color?
So how long is our dive, our present dive?
It's going to be about 12 hours.
12 hours.
Yeah, so we've got a long ways to
and
go.
How deep in the ocean are we?
Bridge nav.
We're at about 2,650 meters, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around
That's
there.
Another step 20180.
There you go. That's how you spell it.
Oh.
So it's
Yeah,
it's in the family Pelagotheridae, and Nypniastes. I wouldn't go to species. I just don't know them well enough. This one has been identified as Eximia.
Yeah. Thank you.
Always a thrill to see one of those guys.
It is. Oh, these sea
I got another
stars are
thing for
quite
that red
dominant
book.
down here, huh?
and no hurry on it, but we should put in the crossbow magnetic offset. Yeah, our headings aren't quite aligned. I think it's because it's in the magnetic variation of Canada. That they're what?
I'm hoping Beth is downstairs, and if she sees a
Nice.
group of
Sonar
rocks
9,
that
you
she
mean?
thinks would be good
Oh my
for her
gosh.
purposes, I hope she would
Yeah.
join us here, because I'm just not seeing anything
Instead
that
of
I
like
think she wants. That's why we aren't sort of stopping for anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't, it looks so kind of exposed and all hard,
Yeah,
very
sort of-
hard rock, not
Yeah, broken up
ferromanganese,
pillows.
broken up, yeah. It looks like above the water we're having sunset going on outside. We can't tell because we're in a very dark
Sunset
room
cam right
with
there.
a lot of, yeah, there's the sunset cam.
Where's that? Oh,
Too bad the
right
lights
there,
are
I
on, you
see.
can't hardly see it, but
We're experiencing some very beautiful sunsets out here at sea. We've had quite good weather while we've, for our transit, about a 3-day transit to this location, and we have really a beautiful, oh, here's the
Here we
microbial
go.
rock
Dr.
lady.
Orcutt is,
Yes.
visiting us now. So we are very happy to collect a rock. If you can help us figure out what would be useful for you. We've squeezed 2 of them now, and they're just completely hard. He's just about 50 meters higher. We're about, I'll tell you exactly, it's, let's see, we're at 2646, yeah, about 50 meters. Because we've been working the side of the crest.
Does Beth see anything she likes, or should we kind of keep chugging along?
Yeah, their lasers on, I just don't see them right now. Oh yeah, there, see.
ooh, is this an overhang? Oh, is this an overhang?
Uh-oh.
What?
It looks kind of
what
like
is
it, doesn't
that?
it? Overhang.
Maybe just a steep wall. Whoopsies.
Coming up on a steep wall.
Oh, it is an overhang.
Oh.
Cool.
It is an
Oh.
overhang, jeez.
Overhangy. Ooh, does it go
Oh.
back through there? That's pretty cool.
As long as you don't hit it.
Again.
Look at that. Surprise, surprise.
That's pretty cool.
What we're talking about,
Whoa.
if you're looking at the
that?
Argus, what is
Bye.
that thing that just...
He's on the go.
Might have hit something and it's falling down.
I mean, this is obviously pillows and pretty, I mean, beautiful terrain. Look at that. It's unreal. So are you thinking more of a rounder rock, Beth? Or?
Good looking rock.
Uh-huh. I think most of these do. I mean, it's not very, yeah, not particularly thick, but. I mean, given that we've got quite a ways to go, we could definitely get into some terrain that's got more optimal stuff, but I knew you wanted to collect one closer to the drop site, and I just haven't seen anything. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you zoom in there, please?
Yeah.
Is that another Chrysogorgia day?
Yeah, we could
Oh.
zoom that one and then the one on the right. This is geniculata, Chrysogorgia geniculata is my guess on this one. And then there was one that was more frilly over to the right.
Over to the right. Am I going to keep it zoomed in? This
That
side?
one.
Oh, yes.
And I think it's a different variety of Chrysogorgia, but I just
Really
don't know
far.
these guys very well. I don't know if Steve's watching and he might lend an opinion here. Yeah, definitely a Chrysogorgia.
I can see the 8 polyps.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Or 8, whatever.
check the guide here and see if we can figure this out. These are painful to ID, at least for me. Boy.
Okay, for a reset.
Okay, come wide, please. Yeah, you can reset.
Okay.
I don't know,
Might be weird because I'm
Chrysogorgia.
on that rock.
Leave it at just.
Might be weird because I'm on that rock.
Okay.
And
Maybe not. What's that long stick over there? I say stick as though it's wood, but
Yeah,
it's
looks
clearly
like
not wood.
geniculata. Is that what you said, Chris? It looks.
yeah, so that one there, I'm pretty sure is geniculata, but the other one is something different. Or at least what we call geniculata. Oh, we've got a bamboo. This is our first unbranched bamboo coming up.
I'm going definitely the wrong
And
way.
look at the
but
size of the
look at it.
monster dead sponge behind it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's Spongosaurus, I think.
Spongosaurus.
How big is that thing? I got to look at the coral, but holy guacamole. Cheese and crackers, holy lamppost.
I can try and get pretty close for this one so we can image
Yeah.
it bottom
Yeah,
to top, hopefully.
yeah, it'd be good to get it as close as possible because the polyps are going to be the way here.
Yeah. Oop, that's as close as I get. Okay, zoom in there, please.
This is our first bamboo coral.
Oh, beautiful.
And that's a perfect view of why we call them bamboo corals, because you see those little round knobs on the stem there. They're nodes, what we call nodes, and it resembles bamboo on land. Oftentimes the polyps on in this family are red, which these are, and they're big, which these are.
Yeah, and it's trying all its polyps. It's probably reacted to the prop wash from Hercules.
How tall do you think that is, pilot?
2-3 meters.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's going to be taller than any of us.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
This is a very diverse family. Some are branched, some are unbranched. They're doing all types of things. And there's quite a few of them, and the taxonomy is very complex. And they're actively trying to straighten this family out. It's called the family, well, right now it's called the family Keratoicidinae. That's one of the new changes for these deep ones. Looks like, I don't know what that thing is.
There we go.
Check some.
If you ask for it, then I know it's happening too, which helps me. But whenever you want, go for it.
You want to move?
I think so.
All right, let's move.
I'm just way off to the side here. I'm going to get less way off to the side.
Okay. Bridge nav. Can I get another 20 bearing 180?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. If we see something that we think is obvious that you might want, we'll grab it. And if it's, you know, sure. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. Thanks, Beth. Appreciate it for checking in.
It's another one of those stalk.
That's better.
That is. Could we look at that? I don't know
What
if
was it
that. I
before?
don't think
It was
that's a
upside
coral
down.
on the right there, in the upper right. I think that could be a sponge.
Or right. Oh, this
Yeah,
big bone stalk
yeah,
thing.
the-
Yeah, sure.
This
Looks
thing
like
right
it
there.
Might have lost
Yeah.
its extensions, its appendages.
What is this thing? I'm pretty sure it's a sponge.
You can zoom in on that,
Mhm.
please.
Definitely a sponge. Yeah. It just hasn't either grown or has lost its arms.
I don't think it's lost it. I just don't think it's grown them out yet. So it's a younger version of those really old ones. And as it grows, those leaves are going to just keep growing further and further out.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this thing. It's got little tubes on the top.
That is incredible. And they're totally translucent.
Again, this
Beautiful.
is clearly in the family Fariidae for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But interesting to get sort of a life stage here that you don't often see.
Yeah, I've never seen this. Haven't seen this stage of them before. I've always seen them when they're either dead or they have the arms fully grown out.
Yeah.
Oh,
And there's
look
another
at
bit.
that.
Wow, look at that
Big bamboo. Look in the little kind of crack in the
Another,
rocks too. Some flow concentration, perhaps.
Yeah, where it's located. He
Yeah,
found a
yeah.
pretty decent squat spot.
Yeah, there's another Chrysogorgiidae up to the right. From
Yep.
it. Oh, looks like we're getting into a higher density area here.
Yep.
A nice concentrated little ravine.
We're getting
Current
to a little
flow.
bit better depth, and we're also getting better terrain, more consolidated solid substrate.
Mm-hmm.
Now these corals knew what they were doing settling out up
They
here.
did.
The ones down below, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Look at this spire we're coming up on Argus View. Beautiful.
Wow, look at that.
Big tower. Oh, amazing. Look at that.
There's one of those, oh my goodness, I'm going to butcher it, Remulogorgia or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is a different one right on top, the sort of frilly
Zoom
one.
in, please.
And it's this guy right there. No, that is what we used to call Pleurogorgia militaris, and now it's something else. And then that is a different Chrysogorgia. That could be Chrysogorgia chryses. It tends to be more planar. Oh man, this is a candy shop. I can't decide.
There's another mollusk, another one of those.
No, that's a barnacle.
Barnacle on it, yeah.
Chips
Now,
done.
is this the kind of place we would be taking eDNA Niskin samples?
That's a very good question. Maybe zoom out. Let's see what
Zoom
the
out, please,
density
yeah.
of these animals are.
Now, it's not very focused because it's on this pillar, this pinnacle kind of thing. I'll back away from it.
I think
kinda
we
see.
would try to find something with a little bit larger, expansive community.
Sure. Okay.
Because right now it looks like it's just this one little cluster.
Yeah.
But
Sure
yeah,
is
I
beneficial
forgot
to be-
about that. That was very good suggestion.
Sure is beneficial to be on top of this pinnacle.
Yeah. Some more of those tall, unbranched bamboos. There's one in the background.
Ridge nav. Another 20 meters, 180, please.
Yeah, I love when you come up on an isolated outcrop like that and you just see this explosion of life that's taking advantage of the currents and the eddies in that one particular spot around a rock.
Yeah. Anything that sets them, gives them a little advantage from the neighboring areas just takes off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Incredible.
It's
Everybody wants to get a little bit higher
Mhm.
out there, right?
That's
Look,
the
it's
name
in
of the
butt cam,
game
too.
down here.
Yeah.
Claw your way to the top to get the best drifting food.
Yeah, let's look for a rock for Beth.
Yeah, she was actually saying back here that maybe on her watch, because we're going to be doing, she's up next, let's see, no. Yeah, she's up next. She's going to settle down and grab a whole bunch and
Oh, great,
test
okay.
them. Because she only wants 2, and I think she's going to be really picky.
Right.
Well, it's quite cold down here. We're looking at 1.7 degrees Celsius where we are. So just a tad above freezing. 2,624 meters.
So you think it's colder than this control van, right?
Yes, definitely.
Barely.
How's the current, ROV pilots?
It's noticeable, but totally manageable. It's definitely blowing from my right to left, which means it's going, whoa, man, upside down. It's going east.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that may be why we're not seeing quite as many animals, because the current
Left or right?
isn't
Oh,
that
left or right.
strong.
Yeah.
Down here, the faster the current, the more efficient the feeding, because that's what brings the food.
Push me that way. Push me that way.
Yep.
It's coming from the west.
Okay,
Coming
great.
from the west, going east. Is that right? Wow. Why is that so difficult? Yeah, pushing me east. Yeah, pushing me east.
Gonna keep it going.
Cool.
Bridge nav. Can we add another step 20180?
Okay, Emil was suggesting this might be a good spot for a Niskin sample. And were we doing that for the, maybe he was talking about that rock formation, because it was a few minutes ago.
We've
Okay.
gone past that, yeah.
Yeah, I got it. So yeah, I would just like to have a few more animals, because I'm not sure that small number of animals just on that pinnacle is going to produce enough DNA, maybe for Meredith. Be great if we got in a little bit denser community.
Is Meredith still on?
I think she might have gone to, she was going to go to dinner, I believe. She's over on the West Coast.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine. We're looking at lava flows over 100 million years old.
Yeah. And what do we got here? This white, this is a sponge of some kind.
Sponge. Yeah.
We can have a look.
I have a guess already, but in case I'm wrong, I'm not going to mouth it.
You have to put a quarter in the kitty if you do it. You're right.
Okay, zoom in, please.
Oh, this is probably a dead sponge with a sea star or something at the top, or is it a? Nope, it's a sponge. Yeah.
Cute little sea star on the stalk.
Yeah, it is the cutest.
That is a little. He's like striving to get to the top. He's like another 3 or 4 months, and I'll be there.
You know, that's a pretty pathetic sponge. Something went for that. It looks like the whole underside of the bell on the top got eaten away or
Yeah,
something.
really. Wow.
It's like the Eeyore sponge. It's just like giving up on life. It's like,
And what is
Okay,
that
come
little
wide, please.
white thing next on the
That's
at the bottom?
That's a little sea star. It's
Yeah.
it's probably a
Oh.
little in the family Goniaster. It had 5 arms,
Okay.
and he may be the culprit
Mm.
because he could have been one of these sponge-eating sea stars.
It's making a speedy
Oh.
escape.
Yeah, the sea stars are vicious, vicious creatures.
They're brutal.
You wouldn't think so,
Sea
but
stars, yeah.
And it's a slow, painful death.
I always tell that when Chris Ma is on, just to tease him, because that's his favorite animal. They like to eat corals, which we all love. So. But sea stars are very cool animals.
They are. Just pretty much every habitat on Earth is some of those Antarctic expeditions where the entire
Bridge
bottom
nav.
is covered in sea stars.
Another step
They're a very
20180.
adaptable group of organisms.
Yep, very successful.
Very successful. Yeah.
What? Oh, yeah, if we could zoom on this coral,
Oh, sure.
might be one of the, could be one of these Romula gorgias or whatever it is.
Okay, zoom in, please.
Yeah, it is. I'm sort of wondering whether we should grab one of these, because I know that Steve
Bridge and
said
nav, hold
Dr.
position.
Stephen Cairns at the Smithsonian was interested in a couple of these collections. Is that possible? Are we at a good stopping spot?
Yeah, I don't know that we can get part of it. We don't have a way to cut it.
Oh, I see.
We have the parallels. I can try to squeeze it. Come wide, please.
Just clamp it.
You think he's, yeah.
But I have no way to guarantee those results.
Maybe we ought to pass on this, because it's likely before the end of the cruise we might have coral cutters on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
If we're expecting a more coral-heavy dive, then definitely coral cutters would be super beneficial.
Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and wait on that.
Okay.
Bridge nav 20180, please. Thank you.
Bye-bye, treasure map.
Like a little jellyfish cruised by under Argus.
Oh, I didn't see that. Huh.
Just caught it as it was cruising through the lower right-hand corner.
So we're current at 2613 meters, 2,613 meters down.
And are we on the ridge or are we off to the
we're
side?
on the ridge.
We're on the ridge. It's not so precise of a ridge. It's not very sharp.
Yeah.
Kind
of a rolling over hill. We did come up the side of it from the start of the dive, and it got more ridge-like, but it's not all that ridge-like.
And I'm just going to go out on a limb here, and we're seeing less animals, partially because those rough edges of ridge create more current, and when you have a kind of a smoother ridge like this, it's not as easy a habitat for grabbing food out of the column.
Yeah, that's not much of a limb. That's probably pretty accurate there, Andy, because the sharper the ridge, you're probably going to have more of a dramatic current coming over the top.
We actually saw something like that earlier in this dive. Was almost the opposite of that. We saw a small channel between the rocks, and the corals were in there. So any flow concentrations.
Yeah. Well, the currents eddy out in those little canyons, and that gives them multiple grabs at the same current, because if it's going to swirl around there for a little while.
Double dipping, eh?
Yeah, they get a few shots at it before it gets eddied out.
You know, the other thing too here is that a lot of these corals prefer more consolidated substrates. You notice we were seeing more when it was more solid bedrock, and now we're kind of back in this rubbly zone, and they're playing out as well. So there's another factor, the substrate type is important as well as current flow.
Where they can attach to,
Right.
The bathy definitely indicates the ridge kind of flattens out here a bit. Are you guys still happy chugging along that ridge, or do you want to make any different moves?
Let's see where you are right now. So you're pretty much right in this. Well, I can see you're pretty much right in the center of the ridge, aren't you? Of looking at the Argus view and the map too, the HYPACK display. I think we're okay for a while just to run up this way.
I'm noticing a slightly curling left now.
One thing we could do is run a little closer to one edge or the other, but.
Do you want to try and come on along here?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so move the ship a little bit that way.
Yeah, sure.
130?
Sure, yeah. We'll step that way. Sounds good.
Bridge nav.
Yeah, the best looking stuff seems just slightly left.
Can we get a step 20 bearing 130?
Your first deep sea cruise on with us, Canelo. What do you think about what you're seeing here? Thoughts?
It's really cool. I mean, most of my experiences usually like coastal ecosystems, I guess. So this is super cool.
It's amazing to
really
see
beautiful
what's down deep.
creatures down here.
It's definitely a different environment that we don't get to see very often.
Yeah.
Is that another kind of pinnacle to your right?
It could be a small little thing like this thing.
Oh yeah, and it looks like there's some corals off to the right too along that edge. The little white spots in the Argus view, maybe.
The ship's moving exactly the wrong direction.
Perfect, that's great. Oh yeah, look at that, Argus is right on top of it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
See this sharper edge, more corals? Kind of a theme here.
It is. That's. See up top, it might be current might be too much for them to establish themselves, but on the backside, a little bit down, you still get the current, but you get enough time perhaps to attach to and establish yourself. So you see a pattern with that often. Not quite as many straight on the ridge, but just behind it, just behind the edge of it.
See if I can follow the sharper feature off to the left here for a bit. Beautiful pillow.
Yeah.
The rocks there are amazing.
Look at those. Beautiful pillow lava formations. Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't seen too many, just a couple of fish so far, a few shrimp, not too many of the larger mobile animals as yet.
It's looking a bit better. What do you think, Trevor?
Is that a sea star down there?
What do you think? Do you want to just keep going south again, or do you want to keep moving? All right.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's getting interesting again.
Totally.
It's just a
bridge nav, sorry, I kept my mic on there. Can I have another 20180? Thank you.
Is that a sea star, this thing right? No, it must be just sediment.
Where are you looking?
That thing right there, but I guess it's just sediment.
Sediment, yeah.
Yeah.
Sea star shaped sediment.
Yeah, sea star shaped.
Say that 10 times fast.
I think there's a few more of the barnacles. Is that the little yellow thing on the center right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
And one of the views, we can see the ship's bow thruster being pretty active here, trying to maintain the position of the ship. So on the front of the ship, there's kind of a tube that goes through the front that has allows the ship to move side to side. Because normally when you're, if you want to turn on a ship, you've got to move forward and turn the rudder and be able to turn. But with the bow thruster, you can manipulate the front of the ship to go side to side, so almost like the ship can dance a little bit side to side, and that helps it maintain its position in relation to the ROV on the bottom.
Look at this pinnacle.
This is pretty nice.
Oh wow!
I love these pillow basalts.
Yeah.
The view from above
Just
from Argus
gorgeous.
is incredible.
Wow, that one even looks like it was hollow for a while there on the top right.
It almost looks like, yeah, it might have been a small vent or something right here.
Yeah.
It almost looks columnar, that one little bit there. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about, the one on the right there.
Yeah.
This one right there.
Yeah. Get that geology shot.
There's a face of a broken pillow right in the lower center.
Mm-hmm.
You just sheared off. So
Split in half, yeah.
split in half.
More toothpaste too, more Chris's toothpaste.
Yeah.
Toothpaste art, yes.
Bridge nav. Another step, please. 20180. I wish I could see this.
You can ask her.
Martina, can you brighten the screen on the DP?
I think it's night mode they call it.
Yeah, or is it in night mode? There we go, that's better, thank you.
All right, where am I going? I'm going south.
You're going south, unless you want to go another direction.
South is swell.
Oh, it's good.
Do not bonk the tether into the rocks.
Oh, looks like you're doing a wraparound.
Yeah, tie it in a knot, and we'll pull the whole pinnacle up using the tether.
There's another one of those huge sponges down on the ground, a few of them.
Yep.
Yeah, we probably don't know what the lifespan of those sponges is, huh? I mean,
No idea.
yeah.
And we have no idea how long they would be laying there on the ground either.
Yeah, and it's not so easy to date sponges as it is to date corals, if I'm correct, right?
Right, they don't have any of the annuli or the rings or anything like that. But I think people are working on this problem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Would they use like isotopic dating? Yeah.
I believe so.
Like boron isotope or something similar.
So one of the other possibilities, we didn't talk about why this is a little bit sparse here, is because we think it's potentially important, the orientation of the ridge relative to the prevailing M2 tidal current.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we're kind of lined up the ridge with that current. And because of that, you don't get nearly as much cross flow acceleration over the ridge.
Yeah.
And so that's why on this cruise we pick sites which have ridges in different orientations around the clock, you know, to see if we can actually get some information that would really help us narrow down the type of topography that would support very high density communities.
Mm-hmm.
So again, given the depth and, well, what do we got there? We got to take a look at this. This is another Chrysogorgia. It could be Iridogorgia, a different genus in that family.
I think it's an Iridogorgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that.
That would be the first one that we've seen.
Can you zoom in, please? Yeah, it's got the twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice call, pilot.
Yeah. These are one of the most beautiful corals down here, too. At least I think. That's my opinion.
That sounds subjective.
It is. I'm a coral guy. These things, it's got a little hole in the middle because you can't see it, but the stalk is spiraled.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like this is a really young one, too. It's only got one spiral, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. It's pretty small.
I'm going to come around it.
There's a little side view of it.
There's this.
There we go.
There's
now you can see it better.
almost like an old school phone cord.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure I see the stalk yet.
There it is. That's cool.
Beautiful.
Very spirally.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, that's very beautiful.
Okay, come wide, please. Move along. You can give it a bump in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bridge enough. Another 20180, please.
What is
What's this area?
That was that weird little anomaly, the visual.
It's like a weird shaped rock, maybe? It's a really flat bottomed, or flat sided, I guess, rock.
That one right in front that you're shooting at right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see it in Argus view, the top down view.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Wild, that's cool.
Huh.
I totally saw what you were seeing. It looked like a wall, I don't know, entrance to the secret underwater lair. Maybe not that.
More Chrysogorgia. There was an unbranched isidid that we just passed. This is another one of these Chrysogorgia geniculata, this guy right here.
Beautiful.
There may be something different in the background. I don't know if you're going that way. You see that stalk?
I can make a detour, yeah.
That back edge does seem a little more
that
interesting.
guy right there.
I'm kind of wandering off instead of going
Another
straight
one of those
uphill.
sad sponges.
No, I don't think it's sad. I think this is a sponge that's called
Oh,
Caliphacus.
do you see that huge
Whoa,
one?
look at that thing.
Wow, that's
Massive.
huge.
Whoa.
That
Black
thing doesn't
coral.
stop.
Wait, don't
thing
look at
is
the sponge
huge.
first, guys. Look at your lunch guy.
All
This
right,
is
sponge
definitely
first, sponge
in the
first.
family Rosellidae, the sponge.
Okay,
and
Zoom in,
it's
please.
Rosellida, yeah.
yeah, and it's in the genus Caliphacus. The first one of these we've seen.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
Is that also a white glass sponge?
Yeah, and this is another glass sponge. So you can see the variety of different shapes of glass sponges we've seen. Those big sort of leafy-like ones that are dead and the live one. This one.
Yeah.
They're all in that group that's called
What about
Hexactinellida,
this
that
one?
class of glass sponges. And now we're going to look at this
What about this
enormous.
one?
Whoa.
It's so cool.
All right, guesses on the length of this. I'm gonna go 10 meters.
I would say it's about 3 to 4.
What?
Aw.
Zoom in, please.
Ooh.
But it's really, you know, leaning off to the right, which is sure is something.
Yeah,
Is this another bamboo coral?
yeah. It's hard. I don't think it's the same unbranched one as we saw earlier. The nodes are really thick and obvious on this one.
Yeah,
Very
that's
thick,
true.
yeah.
You can see those light gray sections that are the nodes.
And there's something big behind
Oh
it,
yeah,
too.
another glass sponge behind it. I think it's it looks like a kind of bucket.
You definitely don't want to bump into these isitids, and the reason
We're gonna get
being is
closer to
they're
it there, Aaron.
slimy as heck, and they will slime your camera if you.
Don't
Camera
slime
slime.
the camera.
Yeah, no camera slime, and it'll stay with you for the rest of the dive.
Look at that. That's part of it's been digested by something. Part of the bamboo coral.
Wow.
See that section that's stripped of,
Something
of flesh.
did. Yeah, knocked off the tissue there.
Uh-huh.
But look at that sponge. Yeah, behind there. See that? That wonderful.
Our guess is probably gonna swing about 30 meters. Do you
Roger.
still want to keep moving, or you want to hang out?
Let's hang out there for a sec. so
Okay.
I can-
Really, the color at this depth doesn't really play any kind of role.
Okay, come wide, please.
I'm aware of, because
All right.
there's no light down here. There's no light to reflect the color of the different organisms.
I'm gonna move along a little bit here.
I keep
Zip,
calling
zip,
these unbranched isitids, but the family changed, so it should be unbranched keratoisitids.
Oh,
And that's but that's a sort of a brand new change that just came out.
yeah, it just shows how dynamic this this field is. With
Yep.
you know, it's pretty new. A lot of these species are new to science. These genus and families.
Yeah.
And again, if you
Oh,
want to
there's a shrimp.
follow, there's a shrimp. Yep.
Yeah.
Oceanexplorer.noaa.gov, Okeanos Animal Guide, if you want to follow what we're talking about as far as the genus and species of these animals. That's online, free for you to discover with us about how we're identifying these different animals. There's a whole bunch of many species in there, and as Chris pointed out, it's dynamically changing too with the recategorization of some of these species.
Taxonomy is an ever-evolving field.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes more than we wish it would evolve.
Oh, it's a battleground free-for-all. It's amazing to get into a group of taxonomists and hear the back and forth. It's quite dynamic and interesting and utterly baffling as far as from my perspective.
We have a question for our ROV pilots.
Go ahead.
Does the ROV have avoidance sensors automatically?
No.
No? How do
That's
you
why I
know?
run into stuff all the time.
Hey, so I can drive.
No, it's all manually flown. There are a couple of automatic features. There's auto. Let's start with auto heading. That's the easiest one to explain. That keeps us pointed the same way.
Okay.
Versus like left versus right. There's auto XY, which keeps us locked in the same position over ground, so forward, back, left, right. And then there's auto depth or auto altitude. So auto depth is keeping us at the same depth based on water pressure, and auto altitude keeps us the same height off the bottom. Now, generally, we don't use most of those. So the problem with using those is, for example, auto heading, if you want to go straight ahead, in order for it to understand and correct, you have to go a little too far to the left, then a little too far to the right, then a little too far to the left.
Like
And
the tiniest little thing there.
it's a little tiny thing, yeah. We'll do some science, and then we'll come back to that.
Yeah, that might be I don't know if this is a rock candidate collection site of the.
Yeah, I don't know what this is here. It's almost like a sheet flow, or you know, it's.
Might be ground up or.
Is
this-
that crust right here? That ledge? I'll circle it right here. It almost looks like it's a layer of manganese crust.
It does.
in
I'm
there.
looking at this coral. I think this is the one we haven't seen yet.
Oh,
Or is it a
okay.
bunch of stars? I can't tell. Zoom in, please.
I can't tell either.
Oh, it's stars. Never mind.
Yeah, stars.
Ah, sorry.
Okay, thanks.
It's a party, a brittle star party.
Brittle star party.
So what is this? Is this just a big sheet of
Yeah,
dust or something? Or?
Isn't it weird? Yeah.
Yeah, very weird.
I don't know.
I'm
Different
wondering
flow.
if this would, well, Beth is about to come on watch, I think, so we may be getting into this stranger terrain now. That might be good for her.
Ooh, something fun up ahead, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're flying around with autos on, you have to go a little too far and then back too far the other way, and it makes it a little less stable than if you just kind of do it manually.
You do have like some kind of short distance sonar or radar on this?
Yeah, we have 2 sonars on Hercules and 1 sonar on Argus. This is the short answer. The longer answer is we have many types of sonars. But you can see the screen on the top right there.
Yeah.
Those are 1 on Hercules and 1 on Argus.
Argus is on the left, right? Or is that on the right?
Argus is on the left, right.
Yeah, okay. And is that thruster noise or something you're seeing the artifacts?
That's because we have a lot of sonars. So we have 3 scanning sonars on the 2 vehicles, but we also have different types of sonars that you don't really normally think of as sonars. So a sub-bottom profiler is another acoustic thing that is mounted to the back of Argus. We have an altimeter, also acoustic. We have the Doppler velocity log, which is also acoustic. All sorts of sensors, all sorts of acoustic sensors.
And the Doppler helps with the current profile, right? Current profiler.
Hi, Jess.
Yeah, that shimmer.
Or this, the Chrysogorgia Romulus Gorgia. I've got to learn that new name. Militaris is the species name.
It looks like just one that kind of broke off part of it, yeah? Like the center filament broke off. All right, I'm gonna go out on a limb again here. I think this is a good example of a coral that settled out right at the top of a rock and took a beating because of it. It may have lost one of its arms to the current.
Branches,
excuse me, yes, thank you.
We don't want to anthropomorphize.
No,
corals.
we don't.
Well, why not? We could do that. There's the head. There's the feet.
We could even break out the drawing thing and get really creative.
Right.
I don't know, this is looking like better rock habitat for Beth when she comes on duty than when we started.
Yeah, I would agree.
Looks
so
more weathered to me.
Yeah, so maybe she's gonna have some good hunting here right off the bat when she gets on watch in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like almost like a really flat plateau bathymetry-wise, but yeah, we're just starting a little bit of the watch change up here, and letting Argus kind of settle out because we got quite a bit ahead.
So if a terrestrial rock hunter is called a rock hound, what is an undersea rock hunter called? Rock mermaid?
I'm gonna let Kainolu go ahead and answer.
Come on,
that
Kainolu, what do you got for us?
Because I don't know.
He's like, you guys, you've been on watch too long. What did they put in your donuts?
We have another question about corals.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Is it possible for hard-bodied corals like brain coral or cauliflower coral to grow at such depths? Or is it just softer-bodied corals?
No, there are some hard corals down here. There's not very many, and they typically are quite small. They're almost like single polyp corals that we call cup corals, but you can find them at these depths. But that's a very good question because we don't see some of those sort of massive corals like they're talking about, like the brain coral down here. Those are dependent on sunlight, and there is no sunlight here. But there are hard corals. We just haven't seen any on this dive so far. So good question.
Great, thank you.
What's a rock shark? That's not bad. You see that? The
rock
that
shark?
comment?
yeah, that's what he suggested would
I
be.
like it.
I like it too.
Let me get that again.
Has a snappiness to it, a rock shark.
So folks,
The answer
Andy and
is
I,
rock
we're going to head off for a little while, and there's a change of shifts, and we're going to turn the show over to Dr. Orcutt, and hopefully she's going to find a lot of material that she can use to do her microbiology.
Mm-hmm. She's going to do some rock sharking.
Yep. But it's been a real fun time, and we'll be back again probably by the end of the dive, and closer up toward the summit, I think.
Yeah. Well.
And thank you all very much for watching, and stay tuned because it's just going to be a few minutes here. We're settling down and changing groups, and then they're going to be on the move again.
All right. Mahalo, everyone.
Yep.